Just some quick features so that you understand the concept of Google Drive. It is essentially a cloud where you can save any documents that you have previously made. That can be anything from a Word document to a PowerPoint, an Excel sheet, pictures, video. All of those things can be uploaded to your Google Drive on the computer. From this format on the iPad, you can't upload anything. You have to be on your computer to take them from your computer and put them on your iPad. You can, however, create documents from scratch by pressing the plus sign in the top right corner. It gives you a limited amount of options. If you go on Google Drive on the computer, you have more options. But as you can see, you can create a new document. It's called a Google Doc. It's exactly the same as a Microsoft Word document, and a new spreadsheet. It's called a G Sheet, but it's exactly the same as a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. And then from here, you can also upload photos or video that you've taken on the iPad, or simply use the camera and take a live photo or video and put it directly in your Google Drive. One of the final things that I want to point out is just the general interface here of the Google Drive app. As I said, when you're on the computer on Google Drive, you've got more features and it looks a little bit different, but it does in general give you the ability to not only view what's inside of the folders, so these are the files that I have saved inside of my Gorman Technology folder, but if you touch the arrows to the right of the screen, it gives you some options with what to do with those folders. First of all, in the top right corner, you can simply share the folder, rename the folder, move it, or even delete it. So these would be the general actions of the entire folder. And then, as you notice, the access to these documents is really what makes Google Drive the most accessible program. Right now, I technically have my document labeled as private. However, I can continue to add people to access it. So even though I'm the owner, Ian has access to it and he can edit it, and Reese has access to it and she can edit it. Those options I can change if I don't want Ian to edit my document. I can allow him to simply view it or to remove it. And then last but not least, I could make this document public for everyone to see, so I wouldn't have to keep adding individual owners and editors. As we move forward today in our Google Drives, if you don't have anything created in there yet, you can begin by creating brand new documents. For example, as you meet with your PLC teams, and members of your blue teams or orange teams can be granted permission to edit the same document rather than emailing things back and forth as we work on our essential outcomes and the like. And in order to do that, once you've created the Google document, you'll see the little people mover up at the top, and it'll tell you what current viewers are in there. In order to have current viewers, one person essentially has to take ownership of the document, and then once it's created, you can again press the arrow to the right and start sharing it with other members in your team. As we said, we are going to be asking you to implement the Google Drive with a lot of the other apps that we will be presenting in the 45 minutes to come in this iPad session, some of which include SlideShark, which we'll be presenting next, and this is essentially a way to present your PowerPoint presentations, but if you notice, it links directly with the Google Drive. So anything you have saved in your Google Drive, you can upload immediately to SlideShark. Same thing goes with Notability, which we'll get to, and again, if you've got things saved in your Google Drive, it links directly to Google Drive so that you can upload any of those files and begin working on them in Notability. All right, to wrap up here before we move on, I guess the irony of this situation is what I've just presented to you here with Google Drive is what you can do with a flash drive, only now you don't have to carry the flash drive around with you since your iPad doesn't allow for anything else to be plugged in. Rather than transferring a file from your computer to a flash drive and taking a flash drive with you to plug into another computer, you simply upload to your Google Drive from a computer and then go to any other computer or your iPad and access the same documents without having to plug a flash drive in.